Hello, hello. Do we have anybody out there yet? Look, that's a nice... It's a better backdrop. A little more movement. Hello, hellos. Do we have anybody joining us yet? Hey, Shiro. Hello, hello. How's it going? How's it going, Shiro? Oh, and Azzy. Hello, Azzy. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope it's a happy Monday. Hey, Crummy Kid. What's up, what's up? Welcome, welcome. How are you guys all doing? Hopefully it's looking like a good week. Right? Yeah, hope so. Oh, whoa, here we go, here we go. Everybody's all up in here now. Hey, what's up, Amphi? Welcome back to the stream. Doing good, chilling out? It's gonna be busy. But a really good week. Oh, hey, I'm happy to hear that, Azzy. Some good news, you know? Hey, there you go. Hey, well, let's let this be the start of that upward rise, right? And I'm glad you're here too, Crummy Kid, because I know you asked me about floats and how to get loft beds as well as rugs and stuff on Discord. So I'll show you that live here on stream. And I think that'll be great. I mean, maybe some other people, you never know, might also want to know that too. I think that'll be one of the, maybe that can be one of the first things we start off with, is I can show you that right off the bat. Because I think that'll help. Also, maybe make a little more sense then if you see me doing floats and stuff later in the stream, because I will almost definitely be doing that later in the stream. Yeah, I know, right, Amphi? It's like, it's admittedly a little tricky when you first get it, especially getting the timing and stuff down. And maybe like, just making sure you're hitting the right spots on the items. But then I think once you kind of get used to it, it's not too bad, right? It kind of becomes a muscle memory thing. But then it's like a matter of like speeding up and trying to go a little faster and a little faster. Hey, Liara! Thank you so much for the follow and welcome in. Glad to have you with us. Glad you could make it. Liara and her friend Mephium also, they came over to see the FC house, the backyard stage in the movie theater. Oh, hey, there we go. Mephium as well. Thank you so much for the follow. I saw that you followed too while we were offline, and thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm glad to have you both here. Yeah, it was great. It was great chatting with you guys yesterday when you guys came by to visit the build. So I'm excited to have you guys here on the stream now joining us. This is great. And I gotta go check out your builds too. I've already seen Liara. Liara just finished her own FC room, and she made a spaceship build in there, and it's awesome. You guys definitely should check it out if you get a chance. It's inspired by Alora's build. Alora, who many of you, if you're a regular here, you know Alora already. But yeah, this is the Liara who, yeah, she was inspired by Alora's spaceship build and built that into her FC and added a bunch of awesome little touches of her own. Like she has this cool hidden bedroom that's above the whole build because of the nature of like some of the way the build works. It teleports you upward if you jump in certain spots. And so she uses that to her advantage and built a whole secret bedroom up there, which I think is brilliant. I think that's a wonderful use of that. Like, if people are goofing around, which they probably will, and accidentally jump in and go, haha, I'm gonna break this build. But surprise, she thought of that and got it covered. Amazing. I love it. Oh, hey. Ariel Vey. Thanks. Glad to have you with us too. Hey. I'm glad you like my voice. Yeah, we definitely have to take a look at a bunch of crystal places. There's so many great builds. I'm loving it. I've been seeing a lot of new designers and stuff pop up, I feel like, and I just love seeing new people bringing new things and trying new stuff or getting inspired by the existing stuff and like trying to make it their own. Yeah, oh man, Azzy, I saw that like the last, I love it. I mean, it went from like Roth occasionally mentioned like, oh, I like this little thing that I saw in someone's build was kind of neat, like this club or that club, and it was like once a month or something. But the last like week, I think it's like every day I see Roth either post or talk to me directly or say something about how he's like super jazzed about the build that he's working on. And like, oh man, he did bed meta the other day with his FC room. And I heard that you and Rolf are working on a big thing for his medium. I love it. I'm so excited. I'm so glad that you guys are so excited about housing and like being creative and everything. So mission accomplished, right? Can I give myself a little tiny gold star there? You guys grew up so fast. Like, honestly, I mean, quite honestly, I was very impressed looking at some of the stuff Rolf was doing. He did a great job at making, like, doing the bed meta, creating like an immersive, you know, space that had a lot of atmosphere going on. So that's great. I love to see it. Like honestly, especially like some certain aspects of that build. I mean, I couldn't tell that he doesn't normally do housing. I mean, so wonderful. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah. If anybody wants to see Liara's spaceship build, that's the one you're talking about, right? I think. Plot. Is that plot? Goblet, Zalera, Ward 14, Plot 25. Is that your spaceship? Okay, yeah. If you guys are curious to see a great spaceship FC room, look up in the chat there. Jot down Liara's address there. And it's in a room, so which room is it in? And also, I mean, hey, also check out Alora, who, welcome Alora. I see you there in chat as well. Welcome to the back to the stream. Also check out the inspiration for Liara's build. Oh my god, I apologize. I feel like I might accidentally mash your guys' names together if we're talking back and forth really quick, but yeah. Alora has some phenomenal spaceship work as well that is the inspiration for Liara, and I highly recommend you check both of them out. They both are doing fantastic work, so. And hey, yeah, if you guys aren't already, pop into my Discord and like Liara, if you haven't already, if you want to share some of the photos of your build as well, and Alora maybe couldn't even share a link of her spaceship build in my down below in the description there. There should be a link to my Discord. If you guys want to join that, there's a housing showcase channel, and you guys could put the address and the some images or something of it in that. And then that way people here who listen to the stream can easily go there and find that information. I'm debating though, should I make it more structured? You know, like, I know in some of the other housing channels, they have it a bit more structured, like where they want everybody to post a specific kind of formatted showcase post, and then there's like even a separate channel where you're supposed to kind of keep all the reactions. Right now it's a bit loosey-goosey, like it's just kind of all there. Since like we're kind of just getting started and I wasn't really sure like how many people would even be posting in it. But if we find it's getting too chaotic, let me know and we can always change it and stuff. So, or we can like, you know, make it a little bit more structured to keep things understandable and stuff. But yeah, absolutely. If any of you guys in here are excited about the stuff that you're building and want to share it, I mean, we'd love to see it, especially if we talk about it on stream. I'd love to have like people to be able to reference and see what I'm talking about. So yeah, please share it in those channels. I mentioned this before too, but like eventually I also want to work on getting like a show notes section, and then I'll hopefully have like an archive where it'll be like stream from March blah blah blah, and then it'll be like these are the builds and these are the links and stuff that we referenced during the stream. That way people, you know, who either watch this in the future or just like, you know, you hear about something on the stream and you go, oh wait, right, that's right, I wanted to see that. They can go back and take a look at the show notes. So that will be something I have to look into later. And also, let's kick things off here a little bit. So first things first, actually, I really quickly wanted to showcase just how to do some basic floating. Just because I know we have some new viewers here who don't maybe know housing that much. And I know like Crummy Kid actually is just getting into housing. And they were talking to me about this on Discord and asking like how to do basic floats and stuff. And I showed them some of the tutorials and stuff that people have posted online. But I know that they were saying that they wouldn't mind seeing a bit more of a live demonstration and maybe help talk through that a little bit more. So I thought that was a great idea. So I'm going to show right here at the beginning of the stream a couple of just like the basic float and glitch mechanics for housing. We're not going to go super deep into detail or anything, but just thought it'd be kind of nice for anybody who's kind of just joining to just have a quick look at this. Eventually, I mean, if people are interested, I can also potentially make, a set of short videos or tutorials as well, if there's something in particular you guys want broken down. Is that potentially something we want in the Discord, like a place where we can suggest break it downs or topics or something that you would like me to dive deeper into on stream? Because like Crummy Kid bringing this up, I thought was a great thing, where like I don't really know where everybody's at in terms of housing or in terms of their understanding of stuff, and so it would be great to kind of get a better feel for like people seeing stuff out there in the wild and they're like, hey, like I don't really know how that's done, and like we could talk about it. Or just even, again, simple things like, just a reminder that like, oh, we got a bunch of new people in here and they don't know how floats and stuff work, and so let's talk about that. Because I think that's something that my stream is going to be a little bit different than maybe previous housing streams you may have seen, or I don't know, I've seen in general, like content creators, because mine, I'm kind of like a little bit of a black sheep here and be a little in between the nightlife, clubbing, RP, performance and that kind of thing side of things, as well as also having this housing and creative work kind of side. I like to be kind of like the intermediary bridge between those two worlds. But I know that means that we're going to have potentially a bunch of overlap where we have people who don't know housing or don't know, like housing people who aren't as familiar with how nightlife works. So I want to introduce them to that and vice versa. So yeah, a suggestion box, either a suggestion box and like maybe, I don't know, I guess to keep it organized too, I kind of want to like be able to parse out or keep it organized of like people suggesting things about different types of content, right? Because people might have suggestions about improvements or changes to prominence or the DJ kind of streams. Separately, they might have something about the housing. And then I guess separately, there's like maybe like a, I don't know, Q&A or something where people say like, hey, can you explain how glitches work? Right? Or something. I don't know. Something to think about that I work on building up. Also, big breath. And hello, Rob. Welcome to the stream. We were talking about you earlier and how you're super jazzed about housing right now, and I absolutely love it. Also, Crummy Kid, are you still there? Just want to make sure before I show this glitch stuff that you're actually still there, because, this is for you first and foremost. Perfect. Okay, glad to hear it. Vrees, or Vrez? Vrees? How do you prefer me pronounce your name? Vrez? Housing is life. Oh, that it is. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I saw you follow the channel a couple hours ago, so thank you for the follow. I'm glad to have you with us. Are you, Yeah. V, Brett. Vree, Rez? Breeze? Well, yeah, are you a housing enthusiast as well? Okay. Okay, so here we go. Once again, just really quickly going to show how a basic glitch works in terms of floating, because I know we have some people here who maybe don't know. So, all right, so Crummy Kid, I know in particular you wanted to see how how bed floating works. And this is actually pretty much the case with any type of floating in a way. But so the basics is this, right? The easiest way to think about this is pretty much have a floating toolkit, right? Whenever you're building housing, 3 things you pretty much always want to have in your inventory is a stage panel, right? So this is an NPC vendor item. It's easy to get. Stage panel, and then you want a Riviera wall shelf here. Oh, hey, look, this one's built by Shiro Nanami here. So shout out to Shiro. Thanks for crafting this meat. This is probably, honestly, something you crafted to me way, way back when I first started housing. So you want this Riviera wall shelf, and you want a wooden loft, okay? These 3 things are your starter toolkit for basically every kind of floaty glitch. And basically just good to always have these 3 items on you whenever you're housing. So, oh, but you do want them in your inventory. That's the easiest way to do it. This is important, by the way. These need to be in your inventory, okay? So the way this works is to glitch something, and I apologize, I'm gonna catch up with chat in a moment here, but I'm just gonna keep my train of thought as I'm talking through this particular thing so I don't lose myself. So you place a stage panel, or let me think through this. If you want to float an item up, let's just say it's a bed, and these beds, okay, I only have really giant beds right now, so I'm gonna actually just quickly grab a basic bed. Okay, let's grab a Riviera bed. Doesn't really matter, right? Okay, so first things first, you take the item that you want to float and you put it down spatially in the room, like where you want it, on the XY axis, right? Not the vertical axis, right? The vertical axis is how, the Z axis is how what we're gonna float it up to. But let's just say that I want the bed to be sitting on this loft, right? So this bed, and I want to put it on this loft, right? And I figure out, okay, actually, yeah, I'm gonna have a fake wall right there, so, and I do want the bed against the wall, right? Like, let's just say that, yeah, I know that my wall is gonna be about here, right? So I want the bed here, and I figure out this is the orientation I want it, and I want to put it up here now. Okay. So I would say take away the loft just to get it out of the way for a second. With your bed positioned here, an important thing to note is to figure out where the center of the bed is, right? So the bed, if you look at the rotation tool, this is the easiest way to do this. Grab the rotation tool, click the item, right? Do you see where the rotate symbol is? This represents the center of the bed. Whoa, hold on. The heck? Suddenly Siri on my phone turned on. That was weird. What the heck did I even say there? I don't know, weird. So yeah, there's, so the rotate tool shows you where the center of the bed is. This is important because when you're floating, the item that you use to bump this up and float it upwards has to hit the center point of this item, okay? So for example, if I was to use it like this, right? Like, let's just say the center point's right about there, right? Now, if I was to try to float this and I was using an item like this, right? This is not gonna hit the center of that bed and nothing's gonna happen, right? So it needs to be like this, right? Where it's now overlapping with the center point here. Okay. So now that we have taken that into account, right? The way we float things is you have either Riviera wall shelf or you have a wooden loft in your inventory, specifically in your inventory. You pull it out, right? And you want to put it near where the bed is. Different items basically require that you that your floating mechanism intersects with them at different points. This varies between items, so it's a little bit of trial and error. For like cabinets, you have to make sure you actually hit the physical bottom of the cabinet at least a little bit in order for it to register. But for beds and some other things, you can actually not hit the bottom of the item. You can hit them a little bit higher and it will pop up like this, right? So how did I do that? I'm gonna pull this into my inventory. Okay, so the way this works, I pulled the loft out, right? And I put it over the bed, right? And for the sake of like kind of showing how that generally works with all kinds of items, you kind of want it to intersect with the item in a pretty major way that basically contacts with the sort of lower portion of the item, right? At the end of this float, this item, the bed or whatever item you're floating is now going to be sitting on top of the loft or the shelf. The way it works is now I click to place the loft, but as I click, maybe like half a second after, I hit the escape button. And this, for whatever reason, the coding makes this pop the bed up, right? So I'm going to click my mouse to place the loft on the stage panel. See how it's attached right here to the stage panel? If this is purple, then that's a no-go, right? So here, this is not going to work. It's got to be placeable, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and then hit escape. Click, escape, in about that timing. Click, escape. Boom. There we go. The bed popped up. Okay. Now without exiting, don't exit the housing menu. Yet. And this is important. Every item that you float has a minimum float height, right? So what this means is because of the way they've coded the game, every item in the game has to be floated up above a certain height off the ground for it to be able to be frozen in place. If you do not hit this minimum float height, and like right now, we have not hit the minimum float height for this bed. So if I was to exit out of the housing menu, the bed will snap back to the ground, right? But if I float it up past the float height, so for example, if I go like this, okay, I floated it once, put the wooden loft back on my inventory, float it again, up here. Okay, right, I think I've already hit the minimum float height, but I'll do it one even higher, right? Because let's just say that sounds about right. That's about where the loft ought to be. Okay, now here where the bed is up on the minimum float height, or it's above that, and it's actually already on the loft. But for the sake of argument, we'll pull the loft off and pretend that maybe you had something else under here or whatever. So now the bed's floated up here, and if I exit the housing menu, the bed stays frozen in place, right? So now that the bed's frozen in place, we know it has definitely hit the minimum float height requirement. If you start getting really technical about this and are concerned about the minimum float height, check out FFXIV's website/resources. I think I'm working on building a housing resources section within my Discord, and I will link some of these like prominent resources there. But they actually compiled a complete database where they've cataloged every single housing item, pretty much almost all of them, and it tells you exactly the minimum float height that's needed, right? It's very, very useful, especially if you start getting much more into housing. But okay, so for this basic bed float, there's the bed. It's now floated up. Very, very, very important. Right now, I could run around this room and the bed will stay there. But if I want it to stay there, even if I leave the room, you need to lock it into place. And the way you do that is you take the rotate tool and click on the item. make sure that you've actually engaged the rotate ability, right? So like this item is now selected with the rotate tool. You don't technically actually have to rotate the item. You can if you want. If you'd like to rotate it, you could rotate it or something, but you don't actually need to rotate it. All you need to do is click on the item using the rotate tool, and this spatially locks it into place because of however they've coded this. So now, let's just say I floated the one item, or I could have floated 10 items if I wanted to, and then lock them all in place using rotate. Then I walk outside the room. This is what will now freeze it in place. All right, so if I walk outside the room. Okay, walked outside the room. Walk back inside the room. And if I've done this correctly, the bed should now be frozen in place. And there it is. It's remained in place, floated up there. And now you could take away the stage panel. You could have done this earlier actually if you wanted to, but let's just take away the stage panel. We take our floating or, you know, base, whatever you want, we plop it in. And there we go. Now we have a lofted bed. Okay, hold on a second here. First of all, Tanking Daddy, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you with us. Are you by any chance a housing person, or have you found me through other things? No worries if you're not, by the way. Everyone here is welcome. I'm just trying to get a little gauge of like where everybody's at. And I apologize, let me catch up here a little bit with the chat. I know there's been a lot going on here. Oh, Reese. Okay, so I see you said you're just starting to make more content, but just getting your VTuber debut out of the way first. Hey, well, did you already debut, or are you set to debut soon? But that's really exciting. I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you like housing, and glad to have you here with us. And Amphi and Alora, yeah, true. There's definitely some other things as you start doing more housing where you start having your own little extra things that you like to keep around in your inventory or as a go-to items, such as a pudding rug for that extra bloody look, especially come Halloween time. Definitely something in the future we can maybe we can do some spooky builds. I've always kind of wanted to try my hand at making some themed holiday kind of builds. I actually have never done any kind of themed holiday build yet, I don't think. And oh yes, Azzy with her multitasking proness. Oh, bed meta emote, yeah. I definitely think that'd be pretty cool. I have begun planning out the emotes and stuff, but I apologize. You're gonna have to wait a little bit longer for me to get them up and running. But yeah, I definitely want a mix of housing emotes as well as some nightlife emotes. So we'll kind of have to figure out that back and forth. Okay, and Amphi messaged the FFXIV doc. Hey, if someone wants to, at least in the housing chat during this stream, in the Discord, if you just joined us, I'm talking about my Discord. You can see the link below if you want to check it out. If someone wants to link the FFXIV float guide as well as the minimum float height guide, throw it up into the housing chat there that we have, and then I will also be putting it like more cleanly into the housing links section. Okay, and just everything else I want. Oh my gosh, Liara, yo, big mood. I totally have run into that where you have, yeah, like, since I've built a number of times in FC rooms, or even like, for example, Ichi nightclub that I built is mostly built on the bottom floor. And just in case anybody's new here and is wondering, like, so I don't personally have any plugins or anything that I'm using. So everything that you see me do, I'm doing and is possible with just the base game. So yeah, I can't push things into the floor of like into the bottom of the floor on like the bottom level of a house or in an FC room. Just getting that out of the way really quick. But yeah, so when I was building like Ichi in particular, the whole dance floor is risen up off the floor ever so slightly, which is partially because I originally had some thoughts about like doing some stuff with the flooring itself, but it's also because I needed to hit the minimum float height for a bunch of stuff. And so many items and ideas had to get nixed because they just didn't make the minimum float height requirement. An aerial, so there are keyboard shortcuts for housing, but not like built into the game per se. You kind of need to set them up yourself. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit, I know I'm really behind here on chat. For some reason, when I'm streaming, my ability to look at stream chat, like retroactively, like scroll within it, is extremely clunky. I have no idea why, but it's like extremely hard for me to scroll backwards. So, yeah, I apologize that it means I can't scroll that fast through the thing. I need to work on that. Oh, you're a PG tuber. Big VTubers in 1 week. Whoa, okay, well, hey. Breeze, congrats on the PNG tuber debut. And that's awesome. I hope that really goes really well. If I ever make anything circus. Come here. Okay. Housing. Okay, Tanking Daddies. Okay, so you. Hey, no worries. I mean, honestly, this is very much a stream for anybody. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to know housing or anything like that. Really quickly, so I'm gonna say too, we're gonna build this FC bar here. That's what I'm building right now. So we already built a lot of the main bar here, and we are going to have mirrored seating on both sides. So this is sort of the area that we worked on last time. Apart from the bar itself, we also built out this first area. So I'm going to mirror that now on the other side here. And build out, yeah, this second seating area. Okay. By the way, just throwing this out there for everybody. If you have housing questions that I either don't get to on today's stream, or like, for example, if you put it in the chat and I'm sorry if I miss them, join the Discord, and there's a whole bunch of us in there that do housing all the time. Myself, but also like Amphi, Laura, Liara, I mean, a whole bunch of us. So feel free to field questions in the housing chat area, or share like work in progress in the housing work in progress channel. And then say like, hey, I'm working on this, and you know, does anybody have any ideas though for how to, I don't know, add a sparkle or something to this? And I'm sure someone would be able to help you out. If not myself, then I know we have a lot of housing experts in here, so I think we have a bunch of possible ways for you to get that answer. Western Parliament. Oh shoot, does it not let you post the link? I'm so sorry. Well, okay, if we cannot post the links right now, I will edit some of those permissions and stuff after. Sorry, everybody. I mean, I just launched the Discord last week, so I'm kind of trying to get the hang of like all the permissions and make sure everything is like open and closed appropriately. So, the nightclub, Tanking Daddy, is on Mateus. Crystal Mateus in lab beds. Or, sorry, if you're talking about Ichi Nightclub, which is the club that I built for Roth, the one that he owns, then that one is also Crystal Mateus, but it's in Shirogane. And then Prominence, which is the new nightclub that I also built and just debuted last Wednesday, that one is Crystal Mateus and Lavender Beds. But the nice thing, okay, so, hey, you're in Ether, that's fine. A whole bunch of people in here are from Ether, so that doesn't matter. Like, you can totally make an alt on Crystal and come join the party. Alora and Amphi did it. So... And, Prominence, for example, is in Lavender Beds, so you just make a character that starts in Gridania, and you can literally just run there. It takes like, 10 minutes or something. Not even 10 minutes. So you can easily join Prominence, and also for Ichi as well, if you ever want to get to Ichi, Azzy has an alt that, if you add the alt, she is part of the FC, and you can take the warp to Shirogane, even if you don't have it unlocked. So if you want to come party with us at either Ichi or Prominence, we will make it happen. Oh, it's okay. Sorry. One track mind here. We're gonna go with the bar here. So we're gonna put the bars here. In case anyone is wondering, I stored them in my inventory into the storage room because I want to use the storage placement glitch. And just to give a quick rundown of what that means, if you have an item, right, and you try to place it down, right? So for example, this bar counter, right? You've probably run into this before where you say, for example, I want the bar counter really close to the wall, right? But you can only get it so close to the wall, right? So for example, the orange, right, lets you place it, the purple does not. So naturally, this is as close to the wall as I can get it, right? But see how there's this gap here, right? So we don't want that, right? Because like if you see on this side, see how they're flush against the wall? Yeah, we don't want this. So, the way we get around this is storage placement. Now, the reason it's called storage placement is because this does not work from your inventory. This one works from only storage, okay? So, when you place items in storage, from storage, if you click on the item, it will plop down just in front of you somewhere, right? And I'm not controlling it right now, right? I don't have it actually clicked, right? The item is not actually selected, right? If I click away, it actually is not placed. So, this is useful because you can then place things way closer to stuff than you normally would be able to. So for example, see how now this thing can actually get really, really close to the wall, like this? See how it's stuck into the wall? So this is what you can do with storage placement. You can push things a lot farther into the wall than you normally would be able to. This one actually to keep this and stick it into place, I believe you actually do need to do a little custom keybind. So I guess I can quickly explain just what that is. So what you need to do is you need to basically bind the menu, housing menu, and then the confirm key. So let's see how the key binds. I think is it the gamepad? No, it's not. System. Where is that correct? Am I thinking that's correct? Oh yeah. So here we go. You need this, right? So you need display subcommands. So if you're doing housing, you're new to housing, and you've never done this before, do this along with me. Open your keybinds thing right now, and go to System, go to Display Subcommands, right? And pick a hotkey for this, whatever you want, right? And then you also want a hotkey for Confirm, okay? Ideally, they're probably close to each other and something that you easily remember, right? It might be auto-bound to something, so you can also just, yeah, as Amphi's saying, if you also just want to take note of what it's already bound to, that's fine too. I just personally kind of created like my own little mini hotkey set, or like little section on the keyboard that I designated for this kind of thing. Okay, so once you have those done, then you're good to go. So what this allows you to do is this, right? Hold on, let me clean this up. Okay, there we go. So I'm in the housing menu, right? Let's go back to our item that we were looking at, the bar counter, right? So, oh, further clarification, the storage placement thing doesn't actually let you place it anywhere, right? So if I'm really close to the wall, not gonna work, right? But this is where you can just angle your camera and kind of move around. I recommend turning on walk as your housing because it lets you more finely control where your character is. So for example, I can go click, no, it doesn't work. And just tap, like quickly do little taps on my keyboard to shuffle my character around. Very, very useful. Turn on walk and just quickly tap the arrow keys to get your character to jiggle around for placement. So yeah, you know, not working. There we go. That's as close to the wall as I can get it. So let's rotate it and say, let's just say I want it like that, right? Now to lock this into place, you need to open the subcommand menu. So hit that command, hit the key that you bound subcommand. It'll show this place, right? So now you have this little place menu open, and then you're gonna wanna hit your confirm key and then escape. And it's about the same timing as when you do the float. So I'm gonna hit the confirm and hit escape, like confirm, escape. It's not, if you do it too fast, it may not quite work, but you know, like confirm, escape. There we go. Click, click. And there we go. The item is now placed and it's frozen in place. And this one, you don't actually have to rotate the item to lock it. It's already placed down. Now, if I wanted to float this, that's a different story, right? So now that this item is placed here spatially X and Y axis wise, if I wanted to now float this up, I can do that. But yeah, see, so now the bar is like way pushed into the wall. Now in our case though, I don't actually need it that far in the wall, so I'm gonna actually pull it out. And I am just going to simply place it down like this. Okay, I think that's... I think that's about right. Is that correct? Oh, I guess I should just try freezing it. Also, I want to say up front, I'm not necessarily the hyper most efficient person when it comes to housing. I know that like, so people like Sint from FFXIV and a couple others are extremely efficient, like really, really precise and fast with how they float and how they glitch stuff. So I'm sorry if that triggers you that I don't always do things in the super optimal, most efficient way. I apologize. That's just not something that I'm going to be able to do. So there we go. See, I got that. There we go. Flush to the wall. Or close enough. Close enough flush to the wall. To be honest, yeah, that's good enough. Okay, let's see here. Did everyone understand what I just explained there? If you're listening and watching in on that? Sorry. Oh, ooh, mosquito bites are the worst, Liara. God, it's so like, it's not actually at all like a major problem, but it's so annoying, right? Which is like arguably worse sometimes. And yeah, the little arrow key thing is very useful. I mean, I think a combination of the little walking and using the little arrow key, and then also, yeah, using just like your camera and moving around like this is very useful. Because this also affects where the item will be placed from the storage. It's because it's going to land right in front of you. So you can also just like slowly tweak the camera like this. Slight other pro tip, if you have a gaming mouse that easily lets you toggle the sensitivity, if you're really precisely trying to float something, utilize that, right? So if you're like trying to like offset something by 1 pixel, turn the sensitivity of your mouse way, like as low as possible. And then that way you can probably actually nudge it like 1 pixel here and there. Roth, oh hey, all right, wait, you just... Wow, look at you. Layering and bed meta? Dude, killing it. I love it. I love to see it. We love to see it. Like, it sounds kind of goofy, I think, when people maybe first hear about it or something, but then like, it really adds so much to a build. It takes a lot of stuff that could be probably pretty basic looking. Like, you know, I mean, and there's nothing wrong. I want to make it clear too. I'm not poo-pooing or like, there's nothing wrong with people building basically and stuff. Like that's great. Like, I mean, honestly, again, as Tanky Daddy said, like it's a game. Like have fun. Like just as long as you're enjoying it, who cares? But like if you want to, you know, take some things to the next level and get a little more complex, Bedman is like a super useful thing that really opens a lot of doors, and it adds a level of polish that I feel like instantly kind of makes your build just like feel a lot more high end, or like you know, quote unquote professional, as it were, because it just is like, if you could talk about, I don't know, if you talk about Bedman and stuff like that, you kind of know, okay, this person like actually kind of looked into how to do housing and stuff, and how to do some of the glitches, and kind of knows about a bit more of the complex stuff. Also, a lot of it is trial and error, right? So for example, I'm gonna try to line these two counters up, so they're just offset from each other, and it's just eyeballing it. There is nothing fancy here that I'm doing. I'm just looking at this point right here and trying to match these two up, right? So it's probably like trial, check, too close, tap, tap. Oh crap. A little lag there, nudge me off. Okay. Also, helpful, instead of using the move, switch to the rotate, because then, okay, like it's plopped there. Click it on the rotate tool, and then you can try, you know, figuring out if it lines up well. That's actually pretty close, but I don't think it's correct. It's not quite correct. It's a little off. I can see it right there. This is where, like, if you zoom in a little bit sometimes, this is like very helpful. I can see this little corner maybe. Oh wow, way off. Oop. Man, I got this much better the first time I did this. I'm gonna reposition, because I like to see the corners and use those to align. So close. That's pretty close. A touch more. Oof. There we go. I think that's pretty close. There we go. See that? Flush. Right there. Tiny, tiny little bit of overlap, but I think, for the sake of this stream, I'm not gonna fuss about it. I might just slightly nudge that off stream or something, but it's basically this. And yeah, oh yeah, you know, once you bed meta, you can't go back, you know what I mean? Like, seeing all this crap happening up above in people's ceilings, you start to realize it. Like, when you realize that it's solvable, then walking into a build that has a ton of stuff where there's no bed meta, and your camera is freaking out all over the place, you're kind of like, no, like, please let me put some beds up here. Okay, perfect, we have those in place. Let's drop our troop stage in. And just putting it out there for everybody. If you would like me to slow down on any point or explain what I did at some point, let me know. I'm happy to explain whatever I'm doing and or go back and redo something if someone didn't catch something. Right here, what I'm gonna do is I wanna float these bars right up on top of the troop stage, or make them look like they're sitting on top of the troop stage. But instead of putting the troop stage right on top of the bar, I'm putting it over here so that I have this space where I can see the height of the bar relevant to the troop stage. And also, I have to hit the bottom of the bar here when I first start floating. So if the troop stage is blocking it, you won't be able to see it, right? So this is what I mean, right? I gotta start by floating it like this. Right? This is what we talked about earlier, where it has to sometimes hit the bottom of the bar there. I can't hit, if I hit the top here, it's not gonna work. Like, for example, there. See how that didn't work? Right? Did not pop it up. It's because I didn't hit the bottom of the bar. And in fact, it didn't hit the minimum float height requirement, so it actually nudged it all the way back down to the ground. So here we go. Now, this is useful. See how I place this? Because I'm using a loft, right? I can now turn off grid snap, lower my mouse sensitivity, bring out the wooden loft, and I'm just gonna take this 1 pixel below the troop stage. So see right there, it disappears. Right there. Now I float. Take away the loft. Rotate to lock this in place, right? And I'm gonna do this too with this other bar, but just really quickly to show. Now, if I put the troop stage here, and I step back and I look at it, right? That bar is sitting perfectly right on top of the loft, or the troop stage, right? So, that's why I did it the way I did it. Okay, now we're gonna do this again over here. It's a little cramped in here, but that's fine. Rotate it in place. Okay. Now, take the stage panel away. I'll turn grid snap back on. Oh. And let's pop this back into place. Do like this. Oh, is this overlapping a little bit? Might have to overlap. Let's see. One snap outside of this thing, so 1 snap outside this thing. There we go. That's even. Perfect. Okay. Let's also I'm gonna walk outside just to make sure that I lock the bars in place, right? If you remember from earlier in the stream, we have to float them, rotate them, then walk outside, and that will freeze them in place. And a note about the whole freezing them in place, right, upon locking them out. Sometimes you don't want to freeze them in place because you might be still testing the heights of stuff. And sometimes it's useful actually to be able to float stuff up and then kind of see where it's at, but then potentially let the house reset itself by just walking outside without rotating them. So that can be useful. On the flip side of that, sometimes you want to lock them before you complete all of the layers of a build because that's a save point essentially. So for example, now, if I started floating some other things up and trying to put them on here, right? By freezing them in place and walking out of the room and kind of creating this save state, I could now nudge this bar and float it up top, like way up here, right? Just completely out of the way. Then worry about putting my wall items and some bunch of other stuff here while the bar's not in the way. And then as long as I don't re-rotate the bar, if I just walk outside the room and walk back in, the bar will snap back down to this position that it was frozen in, and all of the other stuff that I placed there will be there, right? So this is a good way of potentially doing more complex layering, where you kind of think about freezing certain items in place and not other things. Housing nightlife party. Housing nightlife party indeed. Have an on-screen. Oh. Okay. Well, yeah. Hey, I'm happy to. Sounds like you're housing as well, then, Crummy Kid, as we're doing this, which is great. Yeah. That's like a big thing about this is like this whole vibe of this stream. If you want to watch and listen, then like wonderful. But also, if you just want to put it on and basically this could be a study with me, build with me, stream, whatever you want. Because yeah, if you're feeling inspired, go open the game and like start housing while we're doing this. Okay. So another thing is, last time we placed lights over here along the bars, and when the bars were on the ground, the lights had this really beautiful cone on the wall that was really visible. Oh my gosh, sorry. Camera freaking out a little bit. The cone on the wall was like, I thought it was really pretty when the bars were sitting on the floor, but when we floated them up, the light became a lot more specific and precise looking, which I don't think is quite as nice a look. I want that more diffused light look. And this had me thinking, right now, these lights are here, but I really think they should be way up more. And to be honest, I'm wondering if we should just take out these pawns. We can always put them back. But I think because this is becoming like very much a industrial bar kind of look, I think it makes more sense actually to have the much higher open exposed ceiling. Because what I think we want to do is this. I'm just going to store this. I think what we want is these lights to be way up. And to have more of that cone on the wall, right? It's a pretty subtle thing, but just having that little extra bit really showcases the concrete nicely. Although unfortunately, I'm seeing that it kind of pops forward a little bit. I wonder though if I place from storage if that will be alleviated. So let me try this for a second. Let's try putting this in storage. Oh yeah, follow-up pro tip. Actually here, I'll do 2 back-to-back tips for you. If you want the camera to be higher up so that you can see, so right now like it's hard to see up at the top here, right? Use tilt camera. If you type tilt camera, just type it as one word, tilt camera, T-I-L-T camera, hit a space and then put a value in between 0 and 100. The camera 0 is the base camera angle, excuse me. But then if you type up to 100, you can snap the camera way higher. So like there, I just typed in tilt camera 100, and did you see how my camera snapped upward like that? So now my view is my character is in the bottom here, and I have all this stuff looking up at the top. Very, very useful for housing, especially when you're working on ceilings. So in this case, this is perfect. Okay, now I can look at the ceiling, and let's grab the pendant light back out. I bought a bunch of pendant lights, so there's going to be a bunch in my inventory here. But really quick, we're going to use that same storage placement thing with the hotkey that we bound earlier. Sorry, I just need to actually grab the pendant light out. Okay. So look at this. Look how nice that view is, right? There you go. So useful. Okay, so yeah. So we have, this is like the normal height that all the other pendant lights are at, right? But we're going to place it way higher. And normally this is purple. But because we have the keybind, I think maybe, let's see. What's a nice diffused look? Like that? Maybe a little bit more. There you go. We have that nice diffused, but still definitely spotlight look on the bar. Okay, so right here, we're going to open that sub command menu, then do place and then escape, right? So place escape. There we go. And the light's up there. Oh, actually, that's kind of nice. The little natural railing on the house actually looks like it's the natural like latch on point, right? Where this thing would be hooked to the wall. That's kind of like a happy little accident. But that works. It does. I was hoping though that this would push it backward a little bit instead of pushing it forward, because the cone kind of gets lost on the wall here, which is a bit frustrating. So quick, like now thinking, okay, so I'm thinking through this. How could we get around this? Potentially what we could do is put like a half partition that's floated here, right? Right? A floated half partition that's floated out from the wall, right? So it would be along this whole edge and starts maybe right here, like in terms of like this direction. It's like maybe here, and it floats out and it creates a fake like overhang here. And then that way we could actually flip these lights around and have them quote unquote attached to that point instead. So yeah. Oh, Yumon, hey, welcome to the stream. First time chatter. Welcome in. And great point, yeah. So my thought there was that the wall is probably a snap point, right? So I guess there is another way we could also do this too. You could just maybe rotate these 45 degrees, or 90 degrees rather. Maybe even 45 actually, and then still push them into the wall, and maybe it would not trigger the snap point. But another option would be like if we wanted to drop them lower and have a natural way that they feel like they're kind of floating there, could be like putting like a fake overhang or something with partitions or wood beams or something. But oh, so this is Yumon. Is this Morgant? Hello, Morgant. Welcome to the stream. Dude, your Taylor house build is amazing. Yeah, no, Morgan, your work is fantastic. Thank you for coming out to the stream. Your expertise in some of this will definitely be appreciated. I'm sure you'll have lots of great ideas. Let's see. You know what? Let's try this. Okay, let's try something. Right? Let's try putting... Why did that not go? Come on. Okay, let's just try the 45 thing and just see if that... Does anyone know, off the top of your head, do you know at what angle the lights will no longer snap? What I'm talking about here, in case anybody is not aware, the like wall items always snap to a wall. So if I was to freeze this pendant... Actually, you know what? Why tell when I can show? Right? So something you can do is, for example, take a stage panel, have this floated like this, right? So some people, you could freeze this in place. But if it's too close to a wall, it will snap backwards if it's just floating out in the middle of nowhere. So I'm gonna disconnect this light from the wall, pull the wall away. Okay, so now see how the pendant light is kind of floating out in the middle of nowhere? So you can float items like that in the out in nothing. But I think if I leave the housing menu, this is gonna snap and hit the wall, right? Oh, okay, maybe it's actually far enough in this case, but if it was a little closer to the wall, it will naturally snap back to the wall. And this is a big problem when you start doing more complex layering. And this is also not really the look that we want, where it's so far out. So a way that people get around this is you either float it far enough away from the wall, or you flip it backwards. Because in the case of like a pendant light, it's only snapping this direction, like towards this wall. So this way away from the wall, it doesn't actually care about. So you could flip this pendant light backwards and then place it really close to the wall and it won't matter. But I also think if you just place it 45 off from the wall, it won't matter. So let's try this. So here we go. I wonder if I can get the cone that I want like this. Oh, there. See how I have the cone of light on the wall? Okay, perfect. That's a little too harsh. Maybe like right... Oh, it's a little harsh, but at the same time, it's nice and it makes sense. And I'm saying it makes sense because I don't want this light to look like it's just generating out of nothing. Let's try one grid snap off and just seeing if there's a way that this looks natural. Right? Like that. See, like this has a cone on the wall here, but it kind of looks naturally like over here. Like it's coming out of the wall. It makes sense, right? It makes like physical, logical sense. Okay, I'm just gonna try going for this. I think this will not snap. I think this will allow me to get the exact cone that I want. Okay, let's try like there. To freeze an item or disconnect an item from the wall, you turn off counter surface placement, pick up the item, hit escape, and now it's disconnected from the wall, and now I can move the wall away. Okay, so now it's frozen there. See? And there it goes. And it looks like it's hanging off the pillar, not just floating in the void. And we have our nice little cone of light. So I could do this on the other side, have them coming out here, have them coming out here, have them coming out here. So this works, but I honestly think it could be cleaner looking. So that's one of the reasons why maybe we need to try other methods where we either hide where this is connected or figure out a better way to crane it into the wall and stuff. It can't snap. Does the border actually affect the snap point? Is that correct? I'm kind of curious. Also, one moment, I'm gonna have a drink of water. I need one of those channel point redeems with the hydrate or something, you know? Okay. Let's see. How else could we do this? Actually, wait. I guess to what you guys were saying about having it craned into the wall. Okay, you know what? Let's just try this. Why not? Let's see. It might snap, but it might not, right? Who knows? How do I need to do this? Oh. Okay, so what we're gonna do is something that housing people like to call like a crane, right? What does that mean? So you have a stage panel. Okay, earlier I said that your housing starting kit is the wooden loft, Riviera shelf, and the stage panel. That is true. That's a very basic, that is a good starting kit, but it is also very useful to have wooden beams. And I'm sure I'm also going to think of some other items. I'm sure you guys could lob out other stuff. Okay. Oh god. Okay, so the reason why you want these is because they attach right perpendicular to the shelves right here. And what this lets you do is this, right? So let's do this by contrast. So I can put it's wall mountable, right? So I can put this wall mounted light here, and now I can take this and I can line it up to where the other light is, right? So is that lined up? It's about, okay, close enough, something like that, right? Now, here's the thing about this, right? Normally, how do I sink this into the wall? You can't. Or you wouldn't be able to just naturally storage placement this. But now that this is attached to our little crane thing, it's in the correct orientation that we want it. I think I just might have solved my own problem just thinking through this, but okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Here we go. Crane into the wall, right? Crane, because look, there we go. I can push this into the wall by grabbing the stage panel instead of the wood beam. I can push this into the wall. Man, I think Morgaunt totally had it right, like right from the get-go. Amazing. There we go. A little too. Let's go like this. A little bit. There we go. Okay. That cone is looking good. Okay. Now that that's there, we just have to disconnect the light here. Although actually, I'm realizing. Okay, yeah, we can do this. Here we go. Disconnect the light, and then we grab our stage panel and move this away. And now the light is pushed into the wall, right? Now here's the thing, the wall snapping thing. I'm pretty sure when I leave the housing menu here, this light is gonna snap forward, but maybe it won't, I don't know. Wow, it actually didn't. Look at that, guys. Okay. Never mind, problem solved. Okay, let's do this. Let's crane these lights in. Brilliant. You learn something new every day. Okay, so maybe it's because of the snapping point. I don't know. It just takes into account the little lip hanging out here when you're placed from storage, but it doesn't if you push it into the wall. Okay, Amphi's raising a good point. Let's take a look. It might change if I exit and re-enter. Experiments, we're learning. We're housing, guys. This is it. Let's look. Oh, no, it's frozen. It works. Brilliant. All right, well, that's probably going to be the look. I am curious though, like about potentially pulling them a little lower and having them feel like they're popping out from an overhang. I still actually think like, so I'm just gonna sub in this wood like this, right? See how like that could create an interesting, instead of having the chains hanging all the way and popping out of the wall like that, right? I think like that, see how that look is a little different? Feels a little different, like they're coming down from some sort of an overhang area. I don't know. I think it could be nice potentially. You just spam. So I close out and just snap things. Spam open and close the housing menu. Oh, just to test? Are you talking about instead of walking outside the house? Or anything? If you want to like test whether it's snapped or not? Ah, okay. Good to know. Thank you for the advice. Where did I put this? Okay. Is that right? The same height? Why is it one? It's like a little off. That's weird. Okay, whatever. I'll just fix it. Damn it. Okay. Sensitivity down. I'll just click it. There we go. Okay. And try to match the little beam here. I think that's about right. Does that look about right? Close enough, I think. Okay, let's disconnect. Okay. Okay, these slats are getting in the way. I'm gonna take all this stuff on the ceiling down. We can always put this back up later. Oh. There we go. What's placed on these? Oh, it's the steps here. I forgot about this. Yeah, whatever. Fine. Okay. Are you using the unending journey? Let's see, skip it. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a good reminder. I forgot about the unending journey. Yeah, so earlier when I was saying to lock things in position, that you need to exit the house, but you can also, I guess you can put the unending journey housing item down and just activate it and deactivate it really quickly. And that doesn't, then you don't have to actually run outside your house. So for example, this, in an apartment, it's not a big deal because it's not very far to walk to the door, but like in a large, right, if you're in the basement, you could just plop an unending journey right next to where you're working and you don't have to leave your spot. I think that's how that works. Is that correct? By the way, is your name in pink? For me, it is. Oh, Laura. It is indeed pink for me. Oh, this might be a bit of an issue. Here we go. There we go, not a problem. Put this roughly... Is about the same height. A little too low. A little higher. Okay. That's pretty close. I don't really think anybody is going to even be able to tell that it's a little, maybe like a pixel off or something. Oh, dang. Darn it. I might have to flip this around. Because this thing won't place. Or I can't get close enough to the wall. Okay. That's fine. How can we do this in a clever way? Let's use the wall snap. Okay, what I'm gonna do here is I'm taking the stage panel, flipping it backwards, putting a new loft this way, because I wasn't able to get close enough to the wall on the right-hand side there. So I'm going to use the fact that the wall snapping thing happens, put this new wooden loft directly in front of these other ones, exit the housing menu and have them snap forward. That way the positioning of them will still be the same. Or the alignment position. I'm surprised that one didn't snap properly, but there we go. Okay, there it snapped properly. And they're the correct height, right? Because I just pulled them forward in space, not any other direction. Arguably, it could have been faster to just position them manually, but that's okay. We're gonna do it like this. And I might even goof it up right here if I think I had a snap, so it should be okay. This is the kind of non-glamorous side of housing building, is fussing with this stuff where it's like very finicky. Okay, not quite lined up. Maybe one more forward. Right there? Is that right? Is that about correct? I think that's correct. Okay. I'm gonna go with that. Let's disconnect these. Man, this place is a mess. Oh well. There we go! And now we have our cafe lighting with the nice little cones in the wall and the lighting all diffused and stuff looking. And that looks really nice. I think that looks a great look. Hey, if you're learning a lot, that's great. Oh no! Ah, this is annoying. This little like bit that it hits this wall. Okay, that's frustrating to me, but you know what? I don't really think a lot of people are gonna be too mad about that. I don't know, if it bugs me a lot later, I might move it, but it was more important to me that the cones and stuff on the wall are dead accurate. Okay. I'm gonna take away this pawn too, because we're gonna get rid of all this. Okay. And let's crane this stuff in again. This time I'm gonna start with it facing this direction. And yeah. Would be mashing. pineapple. Oh yeah, it's just I have the picture in other Discord. You know, oh my gosh, the amount of times, right, that like you set everything up and then something's like a couple pixels off and you can't click it, or it's not misbehaving. And you're just like, oh my god. That little seam aggravates me so much. Do I rip the whole thing down, or do I just ride with it and pretend that I'm not secretly being triggered every single time I walk in my own build? Out of curiosity, for anybody who wants to give their thoughts, so I'm curious, like in upcoming streams and stuff, we're getting kind of close to finishing this bar build. What other kinds of stuff would you guys like to potentially see? Oh, Breeze, hey, thanks so much for coming out to the stream. If you're free on Wednesday, I'm also going to be streaming from the same time and doing housing again. Every week, it'll be Monday and Wednesday housing. I possibly might change this to Monday and Thursday in the future. Because of Prominence opening, my nightclub opening on Wednesday nights as well. But right now, Monday and Wednesday, so yeah, if you're still here, and would want to come out to the Wednesday stream, would love to have you again. It was great to have you. Good luck with your debut. Your I guess rigged live 2D debut, I should say, since you already had your PNG tuber debut. Okay, wait, hold on. What is the spacing on this? The spacing is actually a little off here. I realized that what I could do is just nudge all of these in a little bit more, right? So that the light falls right around here instead of over there. And that would alleviate this little overhang thing, or this little, I don't know, the light bounce. If I move both of the beams inward, same with these, and just have them all match, then I can eliminate this problem. I will start with it on this side and try. So, for example, move this in a little bit. So yeah, if the beams kind of hit these right here a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Really quickly, where do these beams land? They're right above this second rivet hole. I think that's what these are, right? When you have these big concrete slabs, right? Are the little holes here, apart from looking awesome, I mean, are they where like the giant nails or something are that hold them in place? Okay. And a photo studio. Okay. Yeah, photo studio, Azzy. Definitely we can do that. I actually built a very basic setup for a photo studio, but I would love to actually deep dive more into how to build, like, maybe, you know, the beginning, intermediate, advanced level photo studio. And what I mean by that is beginner is just like plop down some stage panels and kind of explain how lighting works and how to kind of make a more functional studio. Then like maybe intermediate is you kind of, actually no, I guess beginner would be literally just plopping items down without a lot of really, you know, thought or something. Maybe intermediate is we talk a little bit more about like how lighting works and how you can get a little more complex with the lighting setup with G-pose and how using certain items helps with this. And then like an advanced one is we actually maybe build a backdrop within the studio space. Like, you may have seen people do that, right? Where they have, I mean, you know, umbrellas and flowers and stuff all around them. And then that way you could kind of see like different levels of it and go as crazy or as not crazy as you'd like. And Aramore, okay. Love beginning series of noob streamers showing how to get started with decorating. Okay, cool. Yeah. Maybe yeah, that's a good idea too. I know this is your first time in the stream too. Were you here earlier? I did a little bit of beginning, like how to float and stuff at the beginning of this stream. So I say that just because if you're curious to even get started like right away, if I haven't had a chance to do a full-on beginner stream, you could even look at the VOD of this video later on when it goes. I'll push it live tonight. I mean, you can always take a look at that, and that explains some of the basic floats. But absolutely, actually, if we start really feeling like there's a lot of people in here who are new to housing and want to learn, then maybe, yeah, I could designate some streams as very particularly, we're gonna, you know, learning housing, basically. And then I'll explain, like, for this next 2 streams or something like that. This week, we're only gonna focus on learning the basics of housing, floats and lofting stuff and storage placements. We went through actually a lot of them today, but I do think it's kind of all over the place right now. And so keeping it really focused and having almost like a tutorial type scheduled, what do you call it? A lesson plan? Maybe there's a term, lesson plan, right? Would be very helpful. Okay, yeah, so I'm seeing some echoing that like a new beginner streaming kind of series would be welcome for people. And I mean, even though people have like covered it in the past, I mean, I do think, you know, there's something to be said about that. You know, it's like learning math or something, right? Like every teacher teaches you basic arithmetic or something, but some will teach it in a way that clicks for you maybe, but others don't or something. Or certain kids, right, or people. So different teachers have different ways of explaining stuff, and maybe it's good to have variety, I think, of teaching the same subject, because you never know if one person's explanation might be the one that really helps lock it in for you. Arithmetic stream when? Am I qualified to give out kindergarten certificates to everybody here? If you guys can pass the basic arithmetic quiz? Should I go get certified? I think that's too much. I'm just also I'm lining up my beams here. That's just what I'm doing. Little bit too close. And nudge this over a little bit. Okay, that's pretty close, I think. Oh no, actually I think it needs to be over a little bit more. There we go, that's a little better. Oh, and yeah, see, it doesn't like hit the pillar over here if I push them much closer like this. Brilliant. This is everything I wanted. in life. Okay, is that even with these? Pretty much, right? I think so. Okay, I'm gonna run with it. Beautiful. There we go. Okay, and there we have it, everybody. We have the 4 lights over here and the 4 lights over here. And this will look much more dramatic and awesome when we turn the lights down to 1. There we go. I'll fix these later. There's no need to do this on stream right now, but yeah, I'll just nudge these over so that this isn't hitting here. But yeah. Also, something I had thought about since last stream is the bar here. What to do with this, right? So the sides here. Oh my gosh. Come on. There we go. So the walls here, the obvious choice would be to continue the concrete. This is one option. So we have this concrete. And that is not a bad look, but if anyone remembers, I mean, one of the inspirations for building this in here was actually updating the apartment build that the very first build that I ever made, and kind of making it more to my current design ability and taste. And one of the things that I did there was I framed the bar with verdant partitions. And I actually realized I have not tried that yet here in this build, but I think it would look really cool with the rocks. I also realized too that there's actually this overhang right here. So I need to put a rock here potentially, but let's just see what happens if I put a verdant partition here. Because I'm really curious what that looks like. And I am personally a massive fan of the look of like the concrete with greenery. I think it's like a really perfect match of something very man-made, but that has like that natural texture, right? Like a concrete wall it's obviously man-made because nothing in nature is that perfectly sheer and straight, but it has all of that natural element, right? Especially that's highlighted by the lights there. So I love this look, right? Of green, real true nature stuff with this sort of like man-made, but still kind of organic look. So I thought, this would be a good thing to experiment around with. So here we go. What if we just put a verdant partition here? It solves all our problems, maybe? Oh, actually, yeah, look at that. Look at the way the little bushes at the bottom of the verdant partition interact with the rocks near the base there. Oh, wow, that actually plugs up this little area really perfectly, too. Like, the fact that there is this space here allows the bushes to kind of pop through in that specific spot. Wow, okay. That actually works. That works way better than I thought it would even. What do you guys think? Okay, how much is too much? Let's see. Like, I think it's kind of cool if even if along here, right, we have a lot of the greenery kind of creeping in. So let's see here. That's a little too much, right? That looks like a little more overgrown. But maybe like something like that or that. Maybe that. I'm gonna turn off grid snap though. Turn off grid snap, turn the HUD off, that way we can really see it clearly. Where's just about the right amount of overgrowth? That feels natural. Think about like that. There we go. Right? There we go. I do realize that means there's like kind of a weird gap right here at the top. But now that we actually don't need these walls like there, perhaps that's where we can reposition them to fill in this little gap. Okay. Also, I just realized I think I'm a little behind here on the chat stuff. Let's see. Oh man, yo, Alora, Shay Cloudbank's videos. Honestly, they're still great. They still are, they're still very relevant. I think she did some really fantastic work. Glad you learned some stuff already, Aramore. And real quick, rugs you would use. Table mats and the various door rugs. Okay, wait, sorry, did that already get answered for you, Crummy Kid? My chat is being really slow in scrolling for me, but that you would, you're asking how would you float up rugs? And the answer is, you can use either one. You can use the shelves or you can use the wooden loft. Usually it comes down to which one is more, if one is going to be too unruly or not wide enough, then I mean you kind of choose between those two. So usually if I'm lofting a bigger piece of furniture or a bunch of pieces of furniture, then I would use the wooden loft, because the wooden loft is really big and it can hit the bases of a lot of different pieces. But let's see here. Looks great. Yeah, so you use, yes, the shelf. Okay, yeah. But yeah, so you can use the shelf. A shelf is very useful for very precise floating, or much more precise floating. Also, hey, pro tip, just, we haven't mentioned it, but I haven't mentioned it, at least on this stream, is when you're floating, I mentioned that you can use a stage panel, right? And the stage panel is great because it's easy to get, it's versatile, and it's from an NPC vendor. But if you can get yourself at least one wood slat partition, this is also very useful to have around because you can see through it. And it's also much smaller. It has a smaller footprint, and you can see through it. So it's much more understandable where it is spatially. The stage panels, as you saw probably earlier, are very big, so they're kind of unruly, and they can get in the way. But this also works exactly the same as a stage panel, and you can stick it to both sides. So you could stick a wall shelf or loft on this side or this side. And for example, if you are craning stuff or pushing stuff into the wall, right, with a stage panel, this would block a lot of the view, but with a wood slat, you can see through it. And so that can be very nice and useful for being able to still see through everything. And Crummy Kid, I can craft one for you. Don't even worry about it. In fact, a whole bunch of us in here are probably quite high-level crafters, because as you get into housing, it's very useful to just have your crafter's level, because it saves you a ton of money. So, honestly, if you need anything crafted, just let me know. I'll happily help craft for you. Roth is an Omni crafter as well. I know on our server, at least, Alora and Amphi are not on our server, so they probably are not Omni crafters on ours, but yeah, don't worry. Between everybody in the Discord, no matter which server you're on, I'm pretty sure we got someone who's gonna be able to craft it for you. Where am I? I lost my train of thought. Okay, oh yeah, frame partition. Let's put the second one in, because honestly, the one on the right-hand side looked really, really good. So I think let's just try framing it on both sides. And here we go. Once again, I'm gonna turn this off and just kind of see if I can figure out where. Let's see, how far in was this? Okay, there's not like the little lip of the bush here as much, like on the other side, but that's okay. I kind of like it in this position that it covers the top left corner of the aquarium, right? If it's like this, you can kind of see a lot of it popping out. But if I do it like that, it kind of hides it a bit. All right, I'm gonna run with this. I think that's about right. It does look like a little bit crazily green, so possibly want to hide some of this with something. I don't know. It does feel possibly a little too overgrown. But I think it's also still quite a nice look. Oh, come on, here we go. Let me click this. Just kind of curious with the fish in here, how this looks. Look at that. We still got to add the lights behind the bar here too. We're gonna sink a showcase into the floor and nudge some of these rocks. Maybe add some more greenery in here. We need to put clutter on the tables. I'm just kind of thinking through how many more things we need to do in here. Let's see, actually, how are we on slots? Does anyone... Oh my gosh, we're only at 50 slots. Wow. I thought it would be way worse, actually. That's actually pretty good. Wow, look at that, guys. We are only at half the slots, and we already have all of this built. How about that? Okay, well that makes me feel much better, actually. We are actually in a very good spot, I think, where we can put quite a bit more. It's very helpful that a lot of these items are massive. Okay, so what else do we want? So we do want to save some slots for some clutter, like some books or some bar stuff. We don't have to worry really about the ceiling too much. It'd be cool to do something custom with the ceiling. But it's kind of low priority since I don't really think there's going to be too much reason people are going to need to look up so much in this. I'd much rather make sure that there's proper lighting and everything in here. So, very cool. Man, big mood. Only laid the foundation. This is I'm at 50% of slots used, and I've only laid the base of the build. Big mood. That is the entire problem that I have in the main house outside of here. I used way too many slots on the centerpiece of the build, or even just the basic structure of the centerpiece, and completely blew off all of the need for like the clutter and everything. Okay. Quick thought. So if I'm walking in here, okay, having this all open feels a little too open. So I was just thinking through of like, do we actually need to bring the wood slats back? You know, would it be better if it was open? And I actually think, yeah, we do kind of want to bring them back because it really kind of helps really make this feel like an entryway that then, and like the seating on the side to feel a lot more cozy just by having this little separation. But because it's slats, thankfully, it's not like it's a closed off, I don't know, creepy dungeon corner or something. It's just a little bit more separated from the rest of everything. Okay, how far are these from the pillar? About like a one snap off. So like, just there. Is that right? Yeah, it's about right. Am I out of slats? Nope, perfect. I got exactly enough. And I'm just leaving a space in between each slat because I feel like, again, we just don't want it to feel too closed off. And having a little extra space in between helps. let's just do a vibe check here. I'm gonna walk outside and then walk back in and just kind of see what it feels like loading into this. Go, go, go. Okay. Yeah, Roth, it's very true. This is very me. But that, I mean, if it wasn't me, then what's the point, right? Might as well just copy someone else. Okay. Nice. Okay, so you load in and this is your view. And then we just have to put 2 stairs here, side by side. That lets you walk up. And now you're up here. And you talk to our bartender. And then you find your seat. And, oh, so let's count this out. So we just added 6 items. Okay, so 57, then 2 more, 2 wooden steps side by side, probably. Could arguably go down to 1 if we want to save slots, but I think having it full width would make sense. But we could save a slot there potentially. So 2, I think probably along with each light, it would be nice to have at least 1 bar stool. So 8 bar stools total, 4 here, 4 on the other side. So that's 10. So we'd be at 67 slots. So we have 30 slots left to place lighting, clutter the place up, roughly. Oh, and yeah, so then we'll have maybe an orchestrion and a message book, I would think. Message book can go right here or something. I don't know. Or maybe here, take your order kind of a thing. We said they were going to put a music stand right here to make it feel like a menu. Let's start plopping some of this down. Music stand, right? Did I grab that? I think I did not grab that from the other, my other character. What I mean by this though is the music stand looks like a menu stand. So, like near the entrance here, right? If you have the stairs and then you have the music stand, it kind of looks like when you load in, like, oh yeah, you would, you know, oh hey, just checking this place out. I kind of wanted to know what you guys have available. And then, you know, like restaurants and stuff, look, boom. There's your menu stand right there. Oh, hello, Shiro. As he tells Shiro, I say hello back. And Aramore, oh, you're curious about my HUD macros? You're talking about like this stuff? How I'm like opening and closing the menus? I will say, I think that's what you're talking about, and I will also say, so, I could show how those work, maybe not on this stream, but like on a future stream. Absolutely could break that down a little bit. Full disclosure though, I mean, this is inspired by other people's macros. I didn't come up, or not their macros, their HUD layouts. Desperius actually has, Desperius on YouTube has a bunch of videos about creating this. So I have my own little variation here on this, but yeah, it's, I could break it down myself if you want me to also explain it, but if you're curious and want to just take a look at the source, then yeah, shout out to Desperius. He has a bunch of really great tutorials on how to make this thing happen. How this works is you're effectively hiding different hotbars using keybinds. And then you assign sort of like a master hotbar that you're basically, this is me just clicking my keybind that opens this up, and it's basically a menu. And then each one of these actually loads a second, like it displays and also loads a specific hotbar here, right? So if I click on this, it's my DPS stuff, healers, I don't have much on. I don't have as much unlocked on this character, but on my main, it would have everything unlocked. Here's all your crafters, travel options, as well as mounting stuff, chocobo. I have like my housing menu here. This is like a separate. This is a separate hotbar that's just kind of hanging out here. I can toggle it between different states. So like here's party favors for when I'm clubbing. Here's different dance emotes, right? And then even if this goes away, then this one persists, and I have a separate button that hides and toggles this one. So when I'm clubbing or something, my hotbar probably looks like this, right? And then I have this open. I'll put the dance emotes up here. There you go. And I'm like partying like this. I can quickly access all of these. Yeah, it's like kind of just like a quick look at like what's happening there. But if you want a more in-depth tutorial, I could potentially look into yeah, putting something like that together for you, and doing that on, I don't know, a separate stream, or maybe it's even on the basic, a follow-up to the basic housing stream. But yeah, again, if you want to already know how that works, take a look at Despirius's videos. And I think if you even just probably do a little Googling or Redditing, I know other people have probably had different methods, but it's very nice. It does keep everything very clean. It takes a little bit of time to set up, but once you have it set up, then you can actually just duplicate the settings across to all different characters. So if you ever set up a new character, you can just instantly port all that stuff in, and it will automatically load, and you can use this pretty much right from the get-go. Again, it's going to take you like potentially like an hour or two to set up, but it's very worth it because it really helps this to keep all nice and clean and only open stuff when you need it, right? So yeah, like the housing menu. When I'm housing, I just do this, and I have everything cleaned up, and all I need is just accessing housing, G-pose to take photos, way markers to mark positioning. Makes me think like that could be, maybe what I should do is make like a, it's either a stream or possibly a video, or possibly a stream that becomes a video that just explains kind of optimization for housing maybe. Right, so how, explains, we talked about a ton, actually we went through a lot of concepts today. So if your friends want to just like get a little overview while also having a chill 2-hour background thing, recommend this stream to them once I put the VOD up, and they can check it out. And if you watched and listened through a bunch of the stuff we talked about here, I actually covered most of what you need to do housing on a basic level. Also, just to explain what I'm doing here, there's a seam that happens where the troop stage runs into the wall, right? Do you see how that's texture glitching over there? Right around here. So I want to put something here, which is twofold. One, because I think it's strange that the wall is just a blank wall. It feels a little weird to come sit here and there be nothing in this corner on either side, but then also just cover up that seam. So I think what we talked about was there's the new half bookshelves that we thought might work well here. What is that item called? Low bookshelf. There we go. And we could always dye it to match these, right? So probably something brown. Quickly just eyeballing it. Oh yeah, sure. Okay. There we go. Right? So like if it was like that. Ah, wow, that actually, that lines up quite nice with like where the bar wall is here. It actually perfectly doesn't run into the books. Wow, okay. Another happy little accident. I didn't know that would slot in so perfectly, but what do you guys think? Does that look? How do you guys like the look of that? think if we dress it up with some lights, like, you know, have a light up here, maybe a plant in the corner, or a potted plant of some sort. I think by itself it's a little strange, but if we kind of dress it up like it's a little bit of like a mini library reading nook, or I don't know, like if you've ever been to like, you know, like boba shops, there's sometimes like a manga corner, right? Whatever you want your headcanon for this place to be. You could say it's Encyclopedia Eorzea, or you could say it's manga, free manga to read or something. I think that'd be kind of nice though. I think like just in terms of not overcomplicating this too, right? Like that works. What are the tall things called again? Tall things are. Is he talking about this? Are you talking about this one, Crummy Kid? These are called wood slats. I think that's what you're referring to. This item that I'm looking at and highlighting right now. It's this wood slat partition. Okay, so before next stream, I'll craft 2 of the bookshelves, those low bookshelves. I'll fix the lights. I'll probably readjust those a little bit. What else do we want? Oh, I see another seam right here. Okay. We kind of want to cover that up if possible. I mean, another option potentially is we just nudge some of these troop stages in certain directions. That would alleviate the seam. But I think, like, I mean, it feels like something should go here anyway, right? Like, this feels a little awkward, just hanging out here. I guess in the theme of the book thing, what if we just put a bookcase there, like a full-on bookshelf? I don't know. Does this feel strange? Like, it's a little weird with the greenery there. That's a little bit bizarre, I think. But there's other options, you know, that we can think about. You know, these other kinds of bookshelves. Is there, let's see, Oasis, Hingen. Can also just use the back of this, right? It's actually some beautiful wood texture right there. That's actually not bad right there. To just have an extra little like wood texture or something coming out. Could attach a set of shelves or something if we wanted something there. Perfect. Yeah, wood slat partitions. And if you need one, they're sold on the market board. But then yeah, if you want one too, I can make you one from a kit after the stream. Not a problem. Let's see, what else do I need to grab before the next stream? We have showcase there. Maybe, well, we can worry about the clutter once we kind of have everything all perfectly nicely framed out. Oh, bar stools, right? We want some like a bunch of bar stools. Need the steps. Grab the manor. The music stand. Also, I just realized too, yeah, the thinking aloud of like the door. You know, I guess the door does match, since we are like exposed, we are leaving the pillars exposed. It's not the end of the world that the door looks like that. The only reason I'm pondering this is because if you've seen the rest of this house, everything is more Asian themed and has like a custom door. And I do kind of wonder if it could be worth slightly reworking some stuff to make it fall in the rest of the theme of the house a bit more. Because the rest of the house is so unified in its look. And this does kind of break from that. Although, to be honest, I do actually feel like this, like especially like the whole like concrete and this stuff, is a direction that I really want to bring to the rest of the house anyway. So I don't know. I guess one way you could look at that is that this is setting the precedent for the rest of the house to then be updated. I know, perfect, Crummy Kid. Yeah, we can help you out, or Roth can help you out too. I don't know if Roth is just hanging out and around somewhere too, but he could easily do it too. He's an Omnicrafter. But if not, absolutely, I'll help you after the stream. And yeah, Amphi, that is a good point. Like having the rooms kind of be themed in some sense, because they're all like, I guess, done through the filter of my taste / aesthetic, but not having them be so completely Asian or something, like a very, I know what you mean, where if it's like too hyper one style of Asian, then it kind of is like, it could be weird if we put like Christmas stuff in it, right? Or if we want to dress it up as something else. Ooh, sorry, camera freaking out. Okay, so yeah, I think let's see what, I think we are a little over time now, but yeah, awesome. Man, this was a really good stream. We went through so many things. We talked about a ton of stuff. Quickly, I'm just gonna put some fish back here, so there's some movement behind me. Okay. Oh yeah, fun fact, these koi, these silken koi, were the very first fish that I bought when I first got my apartment, like way back when I started housing. And it's the exact same 3 fish, because I never actually ended up using them in that build, but I realized that I still had them. So anyway, these are my longtime fish. I've kept them on ice all this time, and you know, magic, so there you go. They're beautiful, aren't they? Freshly unfrozen. Freezing them kind of makes them lose a little bit of color, though, you know what I mean? Have you thought of placing one of the script lanterns hanging in the air between those slats? I think it'd make for some lovely shadows. Good idea, actually. I had not thought about placing one specifically between the slats, but that, yeah, no, absolutely. That makes sense. I was probably gonna place them like on the bar. So what Morgant's talking about is, hold on, let me tilt my camera back down. Okay, so maybe that's a bit too much. There we go. Okay, so he's talking about the script lanterns, which is the alchemic lantern and some of the other ones that you can get from the Crystarium deliveries? What's that? Crystalline Mean deliveries? It's the quest line for all the crafters. If you complete all of them, you get access to different lighting that you normally cannot buy. And they are phenomenal. It's these ones. Metalwork lantern, wooden work lantern, alchemic lantern. And the thing about this lighting is it's a little different than other lighting because it actually emits the light. And what I mean by that is that it actually creates a shadow, right? So if I place this here, right? Do you see how if I place it right here? Do you see how right behind the lantern right here? Do you see how it's actually interacting with the wood slats and like casting shadows? Right? So if I do, for example, right, trying to find like a good example that would really show it off. But yeah, so basically the thing is this actually casts real shadows. You can see with the plants right here, right? If I put it right, oh, right there. Do You see how this is being troublesome? There we go. Perfect. Okay. Do you see how there's actual shadows that are being cast right here? Yeah. Okay, bye, Liara. Hey, thanks for coming by. Hopefully catch you on the next stream this Wednesday, or if not, in a future thing. Great to have you with us, and thanks for joining Discord. We'll talk to you there. But yeah, so these lanterns are really, really phenomenal because they cast actual shadows, as opposed to things like the Glade Lantern, which are very, very useful and cheap. But you take a look. Place the same Glade Lantern here. Right? Same position. It lights up this whole area, but do you see how there's no actual shadows being cast? Because this is not actually emitting light. It's just, or it's not like, I guess, like calculating light that's being emitted. It's just has like a sphere of light around it that happens, which is useful in some sense because in a different way, it allows you to do this, where if I place this below an object, right? See how the light is still popping up through to it? So, yeah, they're both used for different things, right? You can use things that don't actually trace the light, but it will, like here, see how this? It's like illuminating the wall, right? Because the light is just emitted all around it. So even if it's getting blocked, it will still illuminate things. Like there. If you do that with a lantern, I'm pretty sure nothing will happen. Yeah, see how, because it's blocked, the lantern is below here, but there's not really like much coming up because it's blocked. So, pro tip. And yeah, so Morgant was saying maybe like hang alchemic lanterns in between here to help cast some interesting looking shadow patterns on the walls or on the floor, which is a great idea. I think maybe I'll go pick some of those up as well, and we can play around with different positions of them in the room. And a special longtime fish, Charles. Okay. Is that where's Charles right now, Ralph? Is he okay? He's still around? Can I meet him? Yeah, so also just wrapping up here, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. This has been really great. We had a whole bunch of new people come in. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, whether you're new to housing or whether you're a housing vet already. I think yeah, you know, I want this stream to be a place where all of us can come together and new people can learn. People who know the stuff can maybe they'll learn something too. I'm still learning stuff all the time from other people who are discovering stuff in housing. But then also, yeah, we'll teach each other and hopefully inspire each other to get to building like Roth. Roth is example number A, B, and C of someone of a good friend of mine who kind of dabbled in housing and then has been coming out to these streams and is now got the housing bug pretty bad, and I love it. Maybe we're gonna see a Rothcast housing stream himself one day soon. Who knows? Yeah. Oh, Charles is upstairs? Okay. You'll have to come by and come meet Charles. But yeah, thanks everybody so much for coming out to the stream today. If you haven't already, come join the Discord. My Discord is linked below. We'd love to keep chatting with you. And I wanna, yeah, why not? Let's all talk outside of here too. We can help each other. I know a bunch of people linked some stuff, or we want to link some stuff based on the stream and what we talked about. So if you're watching this in the future, you can probably go into my Discord and see all the stuff we talked about and videos we referenced and tutorials and stuff all linked in the housing section of my Discord. So tell your friends if they're interested in this kind of thing, or even if they're not and you want to get them interested. If you like this, I'd love it if you share it with your friends. And I hope to see you guys again soon. This Wednesday, 4 to 6 p.m. PST, 7 to 9 p.m. EST. Yeah, would love to have you guys back. Tell your friends, spread the word. We got lots of exciting stuff we want to cover in the coming weeks. I stream housing, by the way, every single week, Monday and Wednesday at the same time, 4 to 6 p.m. I'll always post my stream schedule on my Twitter and in my Discord, so you can always check to make sure. And then I also have a nightclub. Thought I'd just shout it out in case anybody here isn't aware, but I just opened a nightclub as well in Final, and I DJ stream for our DJ at that nightclub. No openings of Prominence this week though. Prominence nightclub is my nightclub, but I only open it every other week because of some scheduling things, and also because I want to keep the quality high and have some time here to do improvements for the stream and of the club and of the Discord, and I don't want to overload myself. So yeah, no Prominence this week, but March 30th, mark your calendars, we'll open again. And even if you haven't come out to nightclubs before, even if you're a housing person, come check it out. It's a great time. It's open to everybody, and it's just a great vibe with a lot of great people sharing music together and hanging out. So yeah. For now, thank you all so much for coming. I will hopefully catch you on Wednesday and talk to you in the Discord. Message in the Discord, hit me up. Let's chat there. Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll talk to you all soon. Have a great rest of the night.